We're thinking about personalized treatment plans, drug discovery, patient care automation, lots of use cases popping up here and there. Okay, which one, maybe top three, you want to point out at the beginning of 2024? We check on you at the end of the year just to see how relevant those points still are.
Well, John and I discussed a lot about, in preparing for today. And we at the beginning had said there are 5 ways saving patients. And actually, it's an article that John wrote not a long time ago, which was really valuable to me. And actually, thinking more about it, I think there are multiple ways. 5 is definitely a right number, but I think probably we could find even more. And there's several blocks. So what I see coming really to me is the personalized care that at least I think in the US, I had a conference in the US back in November about mesothelioma, which is the asbestos cancer. And there were a lot of patients, a lot of doctors in the room. It was in DC. And I realized that in the US, actually, the huge difference in terms of healthcare is the fact that everything is managed by insurance companies, whereas in Europe, we might be paying a little bit more taxes. I will grant that to you guys. But at least, when a doctor makes a decision, he makes a decision for the benefit of the patient, not for the benefit of the insurance companies. I mean, there was a patient there at the event that could not have any more scans because she had gone over the limit that the insurance company had decided, and for life she could not have any more scans. And she has mesothelioma. So that to me is pretty scary. And I think what I heard, at least in terms of U.S. healthcare, is that you guys are slowly but surely at least transforming this healthcare, and thanks to people like John, who understands technology, who understands the impact that technology can have for healthcare. So to me, my predictions for AI, I mean, it's hard because I think Europe will have a different prediction than the US, because again, it's very, very, very different. I'm very familiar with the European ways of healthcare. I'm a little bit familiar. I lived 5 years in the US, and my wife is American, so I'm a little bit familiar with the US one. But I will have John discuss what he sees as the prediction. To me, at least in terms of Europe, I see today a difference in terms of diagnosis. Because, and I think we'll talk more about that later on, but just as a general subject, diagnosis and treatment, AI is definitely helping. I have a son who's a medical student. In Europe, it's very different. We have 13 years, and he's in his 9th year. And he said, Dad, it's unbelievable. For prostate cancer, now it's a robot actually operating you. For eye treatment, eye surgery, it's a robot. I just had eye surgery about 6 months ago, and it was done by a robot. For brain hemorrhage, it's also a robot operating on you. So all these things are happening, at least in Europe. I see that. I know in the US, it's the same thing in terms of using AI and robots. But I think it's not yet everywhere. And that's what we're going to see in 2024, is the fact that more hospitals and more doctors will start adopting technology and understanding how it's going to help patients.